the British.
I do think there are things you're not telling us.
You're raising money for a war that you cannot win.
You talk as if the future is already decided.
No man has to choose what's worth fighting for.
You're sowing the seeds of doubt in our midst.
I am trying to warn you.
Warn me about what?
Outlander. New episodes Saturdays at 9 on Starz.
Thank you so much for joining me in the throne room today. We're going to talk about Outlander episode 5, Rent, and this was actually the 5th episode of season 1. And if you are not aware of this, at this time currently we're about 14 days away from Outlander season 4 premiere. So I'm going to try to continue to provide these updates on season 1, season 2, and season 3 as we ramp up for the episode 1 of season 4. So if you're not caught up with Outlander, you can definitely watch it on my special link that I'll leave below on this video on channelclicks.com, which this video is sponsored by at this time. Now, let's go ahead and get into the meat and the potatoes, because over there, they were just rigged soup, and I really feel bad for them a little bit. So, best episode this season so far compared to the first one, in my opinion. Claire joins the Mackenzie Clan reluctantly. Last episode, she tried to escape, but it failed. So now she is left going from clan to clan with Dougal, Jaime. They show his scars to rouse anger, so they are given pledges for protection of the Englishmen who now occupy and terrorize their lands. Now, Sam Heughan makes Jon Snow look like he knows nothing. Sad that instead of falling in love, they actually, in the Game of Thrones, all they do is war and fight. Same goes for this show's Outlander. But in this way, this Jaime's everything Jaime Lannister is trying to be. So if you have not seen Sam Heughan, I will show you a couple of those photos at the end of this video for you ladies. And for anybody else that's interested in seeing what he's working with. Now, Frank shared a lot with Claire. The reason they had come to Scotland. It might be Scotland, Ireland, I'm not really too sure. Well, I'll have to do my research on that one, but I'm pretty sure it's Scotland. They were actually there to search his history, where he found Black Jack Randall, which was a dragoon of the British Army as a garrison commander. Now, Frank Randall searches for his wife for 6 months in Inverness, and she's been with the Jacobites tending to their wounds in a distant past. So she's like an ancient past. And it's just really, really strange, because most people won't believe that story. Now, the Highlander way of life is the end of an era. Claire knows that Jacobites are on the losing side of history, but cannot tell them. So can you only imagine knowing something, but you can't tell people because they'll think you're absolutely crazy? Well, the English army's closing in on the trail of the Mackenzie Clan, but the problem is history cannot be changed, or can it? So as we watched in the Game of Thrones, if you're not a Game of Thrones fan, then you may not understand this, but that's what the Three-Eyed Raven said to Bran, that the writing, the ink is already dried, you can do nothing about it. But the question is she coming back to change it? So we'll be talking about that later, because we will be getting into episode 6, 7, and 8 this week. So every other day you'll get an Outlander episode. You'll also get Last Kingdom, and I will be going into some other reviews of other series as we complete our Game of Thrones. We're going to be doing Game of Thrones once a week this time, just because of the fact that for whatever reason right now, they're not coming out with a new show, but I'll do the best I can. If you guys request more videos, I will go ahead and do them. But the question is, how long can Claire take this? She doesn't know what will happen next because of the history. The Jacobites may die 3 days from the time that she's there. She knows what will happen next. The question is, how will she tell them? So Jaime is distant, and so are the men leading Claire alone, and she feels isolated from home. And in another time, they speak in Gaelic, and she knows not what they speak, so it makes her feel left out. So you can only imagine being in a new place, being thrown back in time, that people don't even talk to you or really care about who you are. Now, they collect Ren and exclude Claire from their conversation, but she does bond with women who wash and dye with their own piss. So it's kind of weird. This is the absolute truth. They actually are dyeing stuff, and they actually use Claire's pee at the end, so she kind of helps out with it, and they talk, but not too much. Now, the Redcoats are coming, a famous phrase has now made more sense watching the show, The Outlander. Now, the Prince of the Jacobites is who Dougal is collecting for, so unbeknownst to the other people that are there, it's kind of secret. So Claire has been sleeping outdoors, living in a harsh time, far from her time, and as a modern woman, able to, enjoy electricity, warmth and everything. So she's out there, exposed to the elements. Claire and Jaime touch and there is an attraction just as it was in the beginning, as she was tending his wounds when she first met him, as she touched the rocks at Crane Dog. Now, Angus, Dougal, and Jaime all are at odds, but they fight over Claire after she said that they will fail in a battle against the Redcoats. The men fight, and Claire is upset, but they reveal they fought for her honor. Someone called Claire a whore in Gaelic, and they fought, so Dougal is her captor and protector at the same time. So that's what's kind of really crazy. Then the tables turn, and the Jacobites question Claire if she is a spy. Again, you know, because it's always a question, and they start asking asking her all these questions, and a man sees she is English and try to ask if she is okay. And Dougal draws a sword as Claire said, "I'm a guest in their home," but the man does not believe it and intercepts Claire. Dougal accompanies her to the British encampment compound nearby at an inn. Now, Outlander was a book. If you're not aware of this, it was written and adapted to a series like The Game of Thrones, but due to the network's its own way of promoting it, it hasn't done so well. So to support this actual show next time it comes on, I appreciate you for tuning in, and we'll be right back with some more Outlander for you guys. But my question to you is, what do you think will happen next? Do you think she's going to really be able to tell her story, or she's going to have to keep it to herself? If you haven't watched this, go ahead and check it out. And this has been sponsored by channelclips.com. And you have a great rest of your evening. Now go ahead and bend the knee and subscribe. Go ahead and like this video if you liked it. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.